first 4 sessions, right? Brand. And I myself happen to be the director of Master in Branding and Marketing program, the MBM program here, and we found branding is somewhat key to business, but that might not be true. I have to admit that myself, that brand might not be the key some days. It comes and goes. Okay? That's what people talk about. Right? And we got the trend right now called brandless. So the new trend for the Gen Z, right? Brandless. So it happened to be back to basic. So try not talk about the emotion of the product anymore. That's what they try to discuss. In other generations, do not talk about the emotion of the products that much. That's something that we need to pay for. That might not fair. Different way of making conversation, you see. Right? So you come up with this kind of story. 150 years of Louis Vuitton, and we talk about the luggage, and we talk about what happened in Paris back then. Right? People travel, so it's something that we don't want to listen to. Let us know what happened with the bag. Is that good? It is light. How about the strength of the bag? How about the utilities of it? So do not talk about brand that much, because brand makes us pay more. That's the era of brandless. And people talk about function more than emotion. So you see, it's what happened here. So brand, no brand, brand, no brand, brand, no brand. So it happens. And what's the final answer? What's the final answer? The answer is customer. Customer trend changes, and that's the reason why even the trend of brand can be changed over time. Right? So the final answer is customer. So that's marketing. And what happened next? After this generation, we found the next generation, it is what we call the new trend, is brand me. Brand, your brand is for me. So it happened to be just like, my brand is my brand. You need to come and buy my brand. If it is Nike, you see Nike and the logo of Nike, so that's Nike, right? How come I pay for you and you got the advertisement here and my products? That's the way of thinking of the new generation as well. So your brand is for me, I pay for it. So what you need to do is to customize it according to my needs. And people talk about it. So, and if they hate the Nike logo that much, they can even get rid of the logo Nike. They hate this color, get rid of this color. Try to make Nike shoes for me, not for anyone else. And that's the campaign of Nike a year ago. Right? So it tells us something about the trends in the market as well. It's going to be no brand or brandless, and then your brand is for me. Right? And you need to make changes according to my needs. So that's Gen Alpha, the new Gen, the very new Gen. So we got Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, then Gen Alpha, right? So that's what happened for the trends for brands, right? So what's the final answer again? Customer. So even the brand concept itself changes over time. So two trends, brandless and brand me. Any new things at all around you? Anything that you like to talk about? Well, we move on to the next one. It's chapter 6 today because next time it's going to be Dr. Guntali. She will come here and talk about chapter 4 for you. So last time in chapter 3, Dr. Guntali will be responsible for chapter 4 and chapter 5, but you don't really need to understand chapter 4 before chapter 5 anyway. So they're all separated. So it's fine. So we're going to talk about chapter 6 first. At the end of the day, you see the overview of everything anyway, right? So that's the plan. So Dr. Guntali will come and talk about 2 chapters, chapter 4 and chapter 5. I'll talk about chapter 6 and chapter 7, and then it's time to take the exam. No, it's presentation first and taking exam. That's the plan. So altogether, we've got 6 chapters for the first part. Actually, so we got 2 subjects. The first subject is we got 6 chapters, and then the rest will be for the final part. It's confusing. For some reason, they separate one subject into 2 subjects, and you need to take exams 2 times. You got 2 grades, right? But it's fine because you're going to have more chances to go for more electives. So that's what happened. So they need you to go for more electives and understand things more. That's the reason why they separate one subject into 2 parts. Or you can actually choose the first part of this subject and then the second part of the other subjects, if you like. So they try to make it more flexible for you. And on the other side of the coin, it's confusing. So it depends. So let's see how it goes. So anything else? Anything that you have to talk about or to hear of? If I happen to know
what do you think about the government choosing the stars or the icon in the society to represent their TV show?
Right. So what happened today? So actually it's not actually just the government, the prime minister as well, try to invite big, superstars, young superstars, right, to feature in the national TV show of the government. You've got no choice because if it is the national TV show of the government, it's on every channel. So it's very easy to watch, that is everywhere. So what happened next? I think they might get what we call awareness, but liking, no. So once we talk about a brand, 5 steps: awareness, awareness, knowledge. So understand more about the brand. But awareness is just aware of what happened, right? And then knowledge. That's the second step. We talk about it if you remember the 5 steps, right? Liking, love, and passion. So the 5 steps. For this one, for me, if you use the what we call a macro influencer, you got only awareness. So we still here. You don't forget, we got this program. It has been there for 5 years now, every day, 7 days a week. Right? And people might not actually take a look or watch it anymore. Right? So they got awareness. But knowledge, I don't know. Liking, no. Love, no. Passion, no. So you need to do something more than just this. But it's fine, at least they got awareness. And that's the reason why we talk about it in our class. So in terms of marketing, what happened? It's not actually a failure. It's just but they got only first step, right? To get what they call success. But at least it's the first step. That's not my opinion. Sometimes and then you can actually after this kind of class, then you can understand right away. Once you got a marketing plan, and then the objectives there happen to be all about awareness. And said this is not good. It's just the first step of everything. Please do something else set the right objectives and try to do something more than just brand awareness all the time. Right? But you got to see brand awareness as the objective of many brands all the time, and that might not be the way to go because it's just the first step. Right? That's the thing. So what we're going to talk about tonight is STP. Are you familiar with the concept of STP already? You heard of it? You use it at your company and an organization all the time, right? So what we need to do is to understand STP, segmentation, targeting, positioning. Segmentation, targeting, positioning. So what you need to do, so this is very easy concept, and it's from Jack Trout and Ari. Two guys who happen to be wonderful in making things simple, and I think I have to say it's very difficult to make some complicated things simple. And to understand customer, you only need two things: segmentation, targeting, positioning. Right? So what does it mean by segmentation? You segment the market into different subgroups. Right? And then you choose which groups that you would like to go for, which subgroups that you like to go for. That's targeting. Right? But you need to move on and try not to stop at just choosing the right target group. What you need to also do is to put your image, your brand, your products into your target customers' mind in relation to competing products. It's important though, so that's the point. It's not just the place in consumers' mind or target group's mind, it's the place in target group mind in relation to the competing brands and products. So you need competitors there in order to do positioning. Many times we got to have positioning with our competitor. It's wrong by default. It's wrong by definition. Right? So what's the difference between Chula and Thammasat? In the target group mind, top prospect students. So in China, we got top prospect students, and we got Chula and Thammasat, the two competitors. So what's the difference between Chula and Thammasat? Location. That's bad. So if you love the location, if it is all about location, you got two choices now. So you can go for either Chula, right, and Uten. Uten is just right next to Chula. Two locations, very close to each other anyway, right? But it's two, so it's locations. But actually, I have to say, to make it very marketing, we call it convenience. A lot better, right? Location, it's called convenience. So the one thing, convenience or location, you may say, right? So very difficult to go to Thammasat, right? The city, the central Bangkok. No mass transit except the bus there, right? What else? The Rangsit campus, very far away, right? So this is really what we call city center. It's not central Bangkok, city center.
That's why we study.
And that's the reason why. So it's not about something else.
True.
Fine. So they cannot mimic us for the convenience easily, right? So fine. So what else?
Ranking.
Ranking. So in terms of what? In terms of ranking. Right?
QS rankings.
QS ranking.
Yeah.
So you see from the ranking itself. So if in international ranking. So if we talk about ranking, it might be in terms of international recognition. International recognition. So it's clear from the QS ranking itself, Chula is better, right? For many years. So yeah. So Thammasat and Chula happen to be different in terms of one term. Second. The oldest one, the second oldest one, the best one, the second best one. We are comparable actually, but however, so it's not just the fact of the age, right? So that's the thing. It can be different because of that, and it's the expertise in people's mind. If it is about everything in general is Chula, and if it is about something political matters, then it might be Thammasat, right? So that's the image in people's mind. Maybe the political science faculty over there, the faculty of political science over there might be a lot better than what happened in Thammasat, but it's not the actual one. It's something in customers' mind, you see. It's the part of perception, not the actual. It's the perception, not the actual matter. So that's the point I like to make. So in customers' mind. But if it is not the actual one, things will be changed very easily. So, if it is Mandarin Oriental and some other top-ranked hotels, so what's good about the Mandarin Oriental?
Nice
So-
views.
Nice
Views.
so nice views. And then you need to think about peninsula in Bangkok. It's the Chao Phraya River view. So it's just on the different side. Right? So you can see the right competitor for a nice view there. Right? For the 6-star hotels. So what else then? For Mandarin Oriental. How come I talked about Mandarin Oriental? Because that's the hotel that ranked #1 in the world many years ago is Mandarin Oriental Bangkok. In 142 years now, it's 142 years old, and it's the first hotel not in Thailand but in Asia. Mandarin Oriental Bangkok is the oldest hotel in Asia. 142 years old. So you see, it's a tradition. That's different. Once you would like to talk about tradition, then it's difficult to launch something new. And it might not attract new generations that much, but they're fine with it. So the target group of Mandarin Oriental is clear. It's not all of us. We are too young, and we're too poor sometimes. It's pricey, you see. And it's not for us, so target group matters. And they're fine with it. Right? They're fine with this. And that happens. But I got very good chance. Well, the reason why I talked about Mandarin Oriental, the other reason why, because I got a very good chance, my friend invited me to go to Mandarin Oriental for his birthday party on Friday. Right? So, of course, my friend should be quite rich in that case. So I went there, and so it's the restaurant called Le Normandie, 2 Michelin star. I think some say it's the best French restaurant in town. So went there. So I went to the elevator. The door of the elevator opened up, and I learned a lot from the service process of Mandarin Oriental Le Normandie. So just to share with you about it. So I try to be there not because of the food, but of course because of the food as well. But I try to learn about what happened around in terms of service process. Okay? And it's what we call delight. We talk about delighting customer, and this is what I call delight. So the door of the elevator opened up. I walked out. They greeted me. สวัสดีค่ะ Dr. Egg. Without me saying who am I. Okay. So สวัสดีค่ะ Dr. Egg. Okay. สวัสดีครับ. And then I went into the restaurant. The server, the waiter came and introduced himself, full name and nickname. and he said, Ajahn, you can call me by my nickname. I was amazed. It's not because of the nickname. I was amazed by the fact that he called me Ajahn. So he knows my occupation. So Ajahn is teacher or professor. So he knows my occupation. How come? I don't know until now, but it's interesting. So during the conversation with my friends, they try not to disturb us. Even the food happened to be ready, they waited until the end of the conversation and then served the food. And then after a while, one waiter came to my table and said, Ajahn, we have already prepared so that the guests over there left, and that's the best table with the best view of the restaurant, and we have already prepared the table for you. Would you like to move? So it's the offer without asking. And we love to move. So we move to the table with the new plates and everything, of course. That's the standard anyway, right? And we got rosé wine. And then the one waiter came again after 5 minutes and said, oh, we are so sorry about it. So sorry, there is something wrong. So what's wrong was, then he changed the flower. The flowers here might not match your rosé. They changed the flower because the flower might not match our rosé. We got drunk by it, so we didn't really know what happened. So, but it's something more than expectation, so it's delight. So then, everything it happened to be fine, and then we are going to leave. Before leaving, so we got a bottle of rosé because we like it a lot. So the gift from Mandarin Oriental for the birthday boy happened to be the rosé, a new bottle. Right? For all of us, we got 2 macarons for free. And then we happened to be in the lift. The manager of the restaurant came right in front of the lift and then said, thank you very much, and called us by name one by one. It's scary sometimes. But that's what we call over expectation. And what next? The next time we happen to be there, we expect the same thing. So we discussed last time, once you delight customer raises their expectation. But it's fine. And then it's over expectation, and I can't help talking about it online. Right? Talking about all the service process and everything without talking about price. And we try to forget about price. The price. But that's fine. That's the thing. So we learn from it. And that's Mandarin Oriental. Right? Delight and more than expectation in terms of service process. The food is just fine, I think, but the service itself is more than expectation, right? All the time. And this might not actually happen in some other 6-star hotels, right? If you happen to be just the restaurant guest, no. But if you happen to be the hotel guest, maybe. But the same standards of service applies for the restaurant guests as well. So anything from you, so.
Yeah, isn't it also about knowing your customers?
This,
Because you need your name and your occupation. It's very similar to sometimes when you're browsing on the internet.
Right.
You see an advertisement for something that you just searched for.
right.
So it's a lot about knowing your customer.
Right, it's a lot about knowing customer and loyal customer, right? But if once you search online, you might expect it, but this time it's not just searching online. And the last time I went to this restaurant was 10 years ago. So I don't really know what happened. So it's more than expectation. So it's very more than expectation. Very interesting, just to let you know. Right? So even from all the 6-star hotels themselves, so they try to differentiate themselves with each other. And a month ago, I went to a Four Seasons headquarters in Singapore, and that's different. The way they serve people can be totally different, very discreet, and respect your privacy very, very much. And that's the way they try to make themselves different from the other 6 stars hotel. And they told me, the manager told me that they got lots of political leaders coming. They got many superstars from Hollywood coming all the time at Four Seasons Hotel in Singapore. They have never advertised about the names of the guests, because Four Seasons is actually about confidentiality and privacy. Totally different. Right? Try not to talk about your name out loud. It's just the way of doing things in different ways, right? To serve people differently, right? So that's what we call postage. So it's not just customer, it's the way you differentiate yourself from the competitors as well. Once you got the target groups in mind, the segmentation and positioning in mind, you can come up with many types of products. The instant noodle here can be different in terms of its price, the way they advertise, and many other things. So the traditional instant noodle over here, the price of the instant noodle here might be just 6 baht. But for this one, it's 30 bahts. More than 2 times. So what happened here? The quantity might be the quantity is the same actually. The quantity of the instant noodle itself is the same. How about 6 baht and 30 bahts? What's the difference? The shape of the packaging itself, yes. What else?
Convenience.
Convenience. So something else besides just the shape of the packaging, right? So what else? The customer can be different. Someone who happen to be sensitive to price, that one. Someone who needs convenience, this one. Right? Office workers, this one. Right? In general, during lunchtime, right? So Chula students, that one we are poor. So you see, it's not just the packaging itself, so the shape of the product itself is something else as well in terms of customer and positioning. Okay. For that one, value. For this one, convenience. Right? Positioning can be different and price can be different. So we're going to talk about the 3 steps SDP in details a little bit tonight. Right? That's the plan, and that's all about it for tonight. So let's talk about the 3 of them: segmentation, targeting, positioning, and we're going to start with the first part, segmentation. In this class, we might need to talk about consumer market quite much. We might not talk about the business customer very much, but if you would like to know more about the business customer, please let me know. Some of you might be in the B2B business. Some of you might be in the B2C business, right? But in the class, we focus on the notion of B2C more because it's more colorful, right? One thing, you can learn a lot from many cases. That's the other thing, right? And it is applicable for the B2B, right? So the first thing first, so we're going to talk about the consumer business and how to segment consumer. So there are many variables that we can use, or many factors that you can use for segmenting consumer. And the first one is the geographic variable. So you use geographical factors to segment customer. So you see, city, countries, density, climate. So geographical matters, but that's the old view of segmentation, right? Bangkok suburb, right? Up country. So it might be used, but that's the old view of segmenting people using just geographical matters. Really is possible. However, the most popular one is not actually geographical variable anymore. It's more about demographical variables here. So the demographical variables, gender, sex, age, family size, income, occupation, education, race, religion, and many other things, right? So people use it all the time, but it's not the most effective one, I have to say. It's not the most effective one. But people love using it because it's easy and it is measurable. So this for kids, it's for adults. Have you heard of the pink tax? So you can Google it and you see the pink tax. It's very interesting. So when TV host goes around and come up with many products, two versions of the products, the normal version and then the pink version for female customers. Everything can be the same. The only thing that happens to be different is the color. And then once it's pink, it's more pricey. So it's pricier. So that's what we call pink tax. And something goes wrong about the pink tax because it's not about equality and many other things, and it creates arguments, debates in the society. Pink tax. But it's the way of thinking in terms of marketing sometimes, female and male, right? And sometimes even your snack. So in Japan, they got Pocky, right? Snack. So Pocky Man, right? For male customer, with dark chocolate, bitter, right? I don't know, but it's very stereotype, but it happens. It happens, right? So that's what happened. So we got this one, the standardized test, according to the education. For Chula, we got CU Te and CU Best. You take CU Best, right? Or you need to take GMAT here. CU Best, the English version of CU Best, right? For the business school students only, right? If you happen to be in some other school, you might need to take different tests. Some school might require you only just the CUT or TOEFL or standardized English score. But for some school, they need something else. Many schools in the US, for the business school GMAT, how much does it cost to take GMAT? $400, right? $400. So about 12,000 baht. How about the next one, USMLE? It's for medical students. It's for medical students. How much does it cost? So any medical students, any medical doctor here? Infern. Where is Infern? Infern is a doctor, right? You're a medical doctor. How much does it cost? USMLE. When you heard of it, right? We will talk about it. So you might need about 200,000 baht. It's not just one level, many levels. 200,000 sen. Just take a test.
What if failed? Yeah.
You fail it.
Then it
you
costs
fail
400,000.
Yeah, 400.
Yeah. Do it twice.
It's better than going to learn on anyway. Your medical school, if you really need to go into the medical school for the graduate level, right? Graduate level, not for the undergrad, for the graduate level, right? So and then GRE and the normal one for all the master degree program or the PhD programs, right? And then TOEFL. So you see, it's kind of the notion of educational background, right? And it's just different here. So any brands that you can think of. That they got very clear segmentations in terms of demographical factors. Pampers. So 1 year old and then 3 years old, 5 years old, right? So Pampers
What's Pampers?
and diaper.
Oh. Also 80 years old.
80 years old.
90
That's the
years
different
old.
one. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. For adults. What else? Chula, I think. So you see different schools, right? and different programs. There are too many programs in Chula for some reason. And even in the business school itself, it's very interesting. And I just learned about it. So we got altogether about 700 undergrad students each year, and we got about 900 graduate students each year. So what happened? We are going to have this kind of structure. The organization itself should have this kind of structure, not this kind of structure. So we need to do something about it. We really need to do something about it now, right? So that's demographical factors. But you got to know, right? Which school in Chula is the richest school? The richest one in Chula. Engineer, no, number 3. Number 3, engineering, number 3 now. Number 2, the medical school. Chulalongkorn Hospital. But Chulalongkorn Hospital is under the Red Cross. So, but the school itself, so the Faculty of Medicine over there, is number 2. Right? With all the donations and everything. And number 1 is here. The business school. With 900 graduate students, lots of money here. But that's the thing, But we cannot use all the money, of course. So we got regulations and everything as the governmental body, right? It's very easy to get money into the school. It's very difficult to get money out from the school. That's the mindset. That's the reason why we are the richest one. And we got, so we happen to be the richest one. So you see, we might need some kind of room refurbishments and everything sometimes. This room that I need them to refurbish. Right? So and then I told you I went there, I asked, and one Ajahn, the one who actually is responsible for everything in terms of the buildings and the rooms, she said it's classic. That's okay, DNA of Chula, tradition. But that's not the way to go, I think, right? For the students here. So the next one is psychographical segmentation. So the psychographics, social class, lifestyle, personality, and characteristics. I have to say this is not very popular, but this is the one that happened to be the most effective in terms of marketing, especially using lifestyle. You can be very rich without using any branded products, without any Louis Vuitton, but you can be very rich. On the other hand, you can be very poor with all the branded products in place, using your credit cards, right, and all the bonus and everything. So you got no money left, you happen to be very poor. So you see, so it's not about the income, it's about lifestyle. So what we try to talk about in terms of segmentation these days is not actually demographical factors. We talk about psychological factors. So you can, if you need to come up with a good segmentation, Google it, lifestyle segmentation, instead of female 18 to 30. Right? So, and then people talk about demographical factors in terms of segmentation and targeting all the time, right? Which is just wrong. From the modern viewpoints in terms of STP, we talk a lot more in terms of lifestyle and psychographical factors, right? Besides the psychographical factor, we got behavioral factors. Among the many variables of the behavioral factors, benefit sorts might be the most powerful one. So we segment customer using the benefit from the products and brands. You can use user status, usage rate, and loyalty status. User status, current user, ex-user, right? That's what we call behavioral variables, right? And usage rate, light user, right? Medium user, heavy user. You will use it from time to time. And loyalty status, loyalty to the brand, loyalty to the store, and loyal to the companies. But sometimes we got real loyalty and fake loyalty. So what's the difference between real loyalty and fake loyalty? Have you heard of the fake loyalty method? What kind of programs are you using right now in terms of the processing program? Windows. How about spreadsheet? Excel. How about presentation method? PowerPoint. Do you like Microsoft? No. That's what we call fake loyalty. So sometimes you use some kind of products all the time, but you hate it. And you talk about the bad thing about the product that you're using all the time, but still you cannot go away. I love True. I use True. I use AIS. I use DTAC. Right? And then you hate them. I use DTAC. I hate it. I use AIS. I hate it. I use True. I hate it. And that's what we call fake loyalty. And many times people talk about loyalty in terms of repurchasing. So you keep using it, and sometimes people keep using it because they got no chance to go away. So we can actually separate loyalty into two parts: real loyalty and fake loyalty this way as well. So we might not talk about it in the business parts. So we're going to skip the part of business customer. But if you would like to discuss about it later, please let me know. Right? And international segmentation, we're going to skip the part as well. So in this class, I have to say right now that we're going to focus on the notion of consumer, the one who consume the product and brand by themselves. Right? Some reseller, not retailer. Right? But in the international market, you got one term over here, inter-market segmentation. Sometimes you got to see one market in the international arena that might have some kind of similar behavior for some reason, and that's what we discussed last time. That's what we called it inter-market segmentation. And we found in general, teenager for Gen Y got to be inter-market segmentation. They happen to be within the era of MTV and actually watch the same kind of thing all the way. So even you happen to be in Asia, you happen to be in Europe, you happen to be in America or South America or many parts of Africa, then you got quite the same kind of behavior and attitude for some reason, and that's what we call inter-market segmentation. Teams. Then how can we have very good segmentation or segments? And I think this is very useful for you. So it's not just segmentation and the variables for the segmentation matter, but how can we make it effective? So 5 things over here. The good segmentation should be measurable. The good segment should be measurable. So if you like to come up with some variables, please be sure that it should be measurable. For example, left-handed and right-handed people. So easy, so, right? You can measure it right away, right? So beauty and ugly people, 2 segments. This might not be measurable. This might not be measurable. So right. So it's very subjective. To make it less subjective, make it tangible in terms of measurement. That's the first thing. accessible. If you choose and you segment people into different subgroups, make sure that you can actually contact them. Sometimes you like to go for the top, very top executive, you got no chance to contact them, right? So that might not be very effective in terms of segmentation. Then it's time to think about substantial. So if the group happen to be substantial or big enough to do business, is large enough to do business, yes, that is fine. Then it should be differentiable, different from the competitors. If it is possible, it is good, right? So that segment might be very good. And then actionable. Can you do something and make it happen in terms of marketing at all? Right. So this is what we call requirements for effective segmentation. So, and then I would like to talk about one example, one case over here. It is the brand Lefty for all the left-handed people. So what's wrong with the left-handed people?
There's many issues for left-handed people. Most products are designed for right-handers because they make up 90% of the market.
Alright.
So products like scissors or pens or shirts or belts are designed for
Right.
left-handers. Right-handers, sorry.
You might not notice it.
I do.
All of you may not notice it. So the belts at this, your watch,
Watch, oh yeah, Apple Watch.
right?
The first generation could not turn around, the other one
Right, the
cannot be
first
used.
generation of Apple Watch. It's happened with Apple Watch before, right-handed people and left-handed people, and then the first version might not be able to turn around, right? So that doesn't really happen, right? The scissors, right? The knife, sometimes, right? The knife for peeling things, and many other things, right? The pen, sorry, what's that?
Guns.
Guns.
Rifles.
Yeah. So many things. So if you think about left-handed people, is this segment measurable? Yes. So left-handed people, you see right away, he is actually a left-handed person, right? What else? Accessible, they're normal people. So they are accessible, right? What else? Substantial, of course. What's the proportion that you talk about, Jane?
10%.
10%. Just 10% of the market. Any left-handed people in the class, raise your hands. You see, about 5% here in the class. But still, about 10% in the class, about 10% in the market. But big enough, substantial, differentiable, of course, is different. And then we got actionable. So can you talk about the marketing stuff and how to communicate? Of course, very easy actually. Right? Show them the problems in life. I mean, in the daily life, and then they will actually understand what really happened because they experience it every day, right? And then that's the way to go. So you see, then you got measurable, accessible, substantial, differentiable, and actionable as what you can do for measuring effective segmentation. So that's the part here, and for me, the most important slide for segmentation is not the way to segment the market. It's right here. It's how to segment it effectively. So that's what you learn from the class. And then targeting. So after segmentation, it's time for targeting. And in terms of targeting, it's bigger better. It depends, right? No. It depends. Is bigger better? No. Do we need to be Coke? No. Do we need to be Disney? No. Sometimes you can go for what we call many weeks ago niche markets, right? And we can be better using the niche market, and then we can even be stronger than the leader from time to time. In Thailand, the strongest one in terms of airline business is Bangkok Airways. In terms of the profit generation. The worst one happened to be the largest one, which is Thai Airways. No profit. Do not talk about profit with Thai Airways. Right? It's the what happened with Bangkok Airways. Niche markets. but they capture, right, what they call honeymooners all the time. So Bangkok Airways is the airlines for honeymooners. So where the places to go: Samui Island, Sukhothai, romantic place, Vientiane in Laos, romantic one, many other places, right, romantic ones. So it's honeymooners. And then they built up the brand using the honeymooners factor, and these days they're very strong. Right? The best one in terms of the profit generation in the airline business in the countries. You see? So is bigger better? Depends. We don't really know. Right? But the bigger in terms of market size, in terms of our target market, then you need to spend a lot more. Right? So we would like to be everything for everyone. Many companies said, so what you would like to go for? Krung Thai. Krung Thai would like to go for rich people, poor people, educated people, uneducated people. So that's everyone. So the middle class, yes. Male, yes. Female, yes. So anyone you would like to exclude from your target group? No. So that's everyone. So Krung Thai would like to be everything for everyone. That's the trap. You can do it if you happen to be Coca-Cola. You have that much money to spend for communication. Yeah. So what I ask the company sometimes in terms of choosing the right target. So at first, in general, the company loves to go for all the target groups, all the segments. That means they would like to be everything for everyone. Then I ask, you got that much money? If you got that much money, please do. How much does it cost? I don't know, but it should be more than the advertising budget of Coke, because Coke itself cannot capture everyone, even Coke. And then they said no, and then we need to try to find the right target group then, right? So we cannot be everything for everyone. Right? And there are 4 types of targeting. And you got to learn about some terms now. So 4 types from the broader view. So a very small view of targeting. The broadest one is what we call the undifferentiated marketing. So we would like to be everything for everyone in general. So that's what we call mass marketing. And you got to hear of the notion of mass market all the time. It's from here. So targeting, if you were to be everything for everyone, then mass. But if you actually segment the market into different parts, and then you choose some of them, but not all of them, then that's what we call differentiated marketing. Segment market into different parts, then you choose some of them, not all of them, right? That's what we call segmented or differentiated marketing. If you segment markets into different parts, different sub-segments, and you choose 1 or 2 beautiful segments, that's what we call niche market or concentrated marketing. So the term niche market is over here. So this niche market strategy, you are talking about targeting them. So that's you need to have in mind. Right? Once you got to be in the class of marketing, so you know exactly what they're talking about. Right? So you're talking about targeting then. How about positioning? So it's the time to move on then. So you know exactly the framework, right? So that's what happened over here. And then if you like to go for some individuals, right? That's what we call micro or local marketing. Micro marketing. Can you come up with any good examples of mass marketing besides Coke? Unilever, yes. Many brands under Unilever, and Unilever is so mass market. What's that?
Noodles.
Doodle?
Noodles.
You mean the website, Doodle?
Mama.
Oh, Mama. Oh, the Mama Doodle. I like the name Mama though. You like the name? The most popular one is instant noodle Mama. You like the name? I like the name very much. It's mass enough because that's the first term that people actually speak up. Right, Mama. It's the easiest one. Mass enough. That's mass market. Right? It's mom, Mama. And then how about the differentiated marketing? Many brands in general, you see
Everything.
differentiated marketing in the market, right? So many other brands. And how about niche market besides Bangkok Airways? Any good niche market strategies or niche market brands in your mind?
Many luxury brands would be
Many
niche.
luxury brands, right? And niche markets, right? Many luxury brands. We talked about Patek Philippe last time, right? A niche market, very niche market. For me, it's MBM program over there. It's niche market, right? But not the Thai program, but the English program. I talked about the MBM English program before, right? It's not cheap. It's quite pricey actually. 800,000 baht for the tuition fee, but it's not Chula, it's Chula Cambridge program, right? And we would like to go for the top students, but not top students in general, it's a top student who would like to be in the branding and marketing field. It's clear. So what we try to do is to actually develop brand gurus for the society. So people talk about marketing all the time, but it's clear to all of us that we got not many brand gurus in the market in other countries. So we need to really develop brand gurus for the society. So clear, pricey, so it's small market, right? And you see, beautiful. Beautiful. So it's niche marketing. And then micro marketing. So tailor store, okay, in general. So see, undifferentiated marketing or mass market, I think for all, and differentiated segmented marketing, right? So down here you see Estee Lauder, Clinique, MAC, Stila, they're all under Estee Lauder anyway. But different target groups using different brands is possible, right? So, but you know about it, right? So in terms of cosmetic industry, there are just 4 or 5 big companies, but they own all the brands. Right? In terms of Estee Lauder, you got Estee Lauder, Clinique, Stila. Stila's younger, right? For a younger group of people, and then you got MAC, really colorful one, and then under Estee Lauder, you still have Bobbi Brown. And once you look around, it's Estee Lauder anyway. And in the department store. What else? So Lancome, L'Oreal. Under Lancome, L'Oreal, Kiehl's. They're all L'Oreal anyway. Right? Different segments, right? So you see, people use brand to show the segments or target groups of the company as well. And brand helps in terms of segmentation and targeting. Right. So as we talked about niche markets already, so concentrated on niche marketing, right? Keep in mind, it should not be just small, but it should be small but beautiful. So profitable. In terms of beautiful, it is profitable. And what you need to do is to build a fence. Right? Try not to have the competitor to come in. If not, it's not neat anymore. If you can build a fence, then that's what we call blue ocean strategy. You heard of it, right? Blue ocean strategy. We are in the red ocean. People kill each other and then the ocean turned red. So we need to go away and try to be in our place and try to go for a beautiful one, small place but beautiful. It's what we call blue ocean. But what you need to have for Blue Ocean is a fence. Try to have a fence to protect yourself and your market from the competitor to come in as well. So you need to think niche market plus a fence in order to have Blue Ocean strategy. Just like what happened with Bangkok Airways, it's not just going for honeymooner places. They actually got their own airports. As in some way, islands, if you would like to go there, you pay a lot. Thai Airways pay a lot, right, for the airports there because the airport belongs to Bangkok Airways. That's the fence, right, in terms of business. So that's what you need to know as well. It's not just the niche market itself. You need to build a fence in term to protect yourself and your market from the competitors to come. And the last bit, micro marketing. Sometimes we talk about it in terms of one-to-one marketing. It's a traditional one, tailor store, right, and many other things happen to be around anyway. If you would like to have your shoe tailored, if you like to have your shirt tailored, then it's micro marketing by default. Right? And then if you would like to choose the right targeting, the right target group, what should you actually consider? And there are 5 factors for you to consider in terms of choosing right target groups. So it's important right here again. Right? So it's not actually the terms of targeting. There are many terms in terms of targeting. Niche market, micro marketing, right? Undifferentiated, differentiated, segmented, concentrated. So it's good to know about the terms, but it's more important to understand the strategy as well. So here's the strategy to choose the right target groups, right? The first one over here, you need to actually understand the company resources. And in terms of resources, think about 3 things: human resources, time resources, financial resources. So you need to look at your HR, human resources. Sometimes you got lots of money, no people. It's wrong. So human resources. So sometimes you got lots of money, you got many people around, you got no time left. You can't do anything about it. So it's time resources as well. So time, human, and money, right? Financial resources, right? So if you got good resource, big resources, then it's time to go for mass market. So you can capture a bigger market. There's a reason why if you would like to go to be everything for everyone, so then I ask, you have the money to pay for it. Right? If you really have the money to pay for it, you have that big budget, why not? Go for it. Right? Just like Mama or Coke. How about the product variability? Can you really produce many types of products? If not, you can go for differentiated marketing anyway. You can go for a niche market actually. So it's the ability to produce different types of products as well. So it's something inside. Product life cycle strategy. So we can skip this part. We talk about it later on because it's the name of the chapter. Anyway, so we skip the part of the product life cycle, but we talk about market variability. Do your customers need different types of brands or products? If not, do not go for differentiated. It's a customer's needs as well. Right? How about competitor strategy, marketing strategies in general? If your customer go for the mass marketing, what you need to do not try to compete with them using mass marketing strategy. We use niche marketing. Okay. Once we want to be better, stronger and stronger, then we can compete with them, just like Thai Airways and Bangkok Airways. So many factors here to consider the best way to go for targeting. Right? So it's segmentation. We already talked about targeting, and the next bit we talk about the positioning parts. But it's time to take a break. It's 1 hour and a half already. So please go for your break, and we'll come back after the break.
Thank you.